The shattering revelation. I stood frozen in the doorway of our bedroom, the world tilting like a bad dream. The air was thick with the scent of her perfume and his sweat, the sheets twisted like accusations around their naked bodies. My wife, Elena, my Elena, the woman I'd built my life around for 8 years, didn't even flinch. She sat up, her dark hair cascading over bare shoulders, and locked eyes with me. No tears, no pleas. Just a cold, triumphant smile. "Finally caught you, huh?" she said, her voice dripping with disdain as she pulled the sheet higher, casual, as if discussing dinner plans. Her lover, some slick gym rat named Marco, smirked from beside her, not bothering to cover up. "Look, Alex, let's not make this messy. You're sweet, really, but you've always been my backup. The safe bet. Marco, he's the real deal. The fire. You were just there." Her words sliced deeper than any knife, each syllable a venomous twist in my gut. Backup. 8 years of late nights at the office to fund her dreams, surprise trips to Paris, holding her through miscarriages that broke us both. I was backup? The room spun, rage boiling up like acid, but I couldn't move, couldn't scream. Just watched as she shrugged, like discarding an old coat, and turned back to him, whispering something that made him laugh. I backed out, the door clicking shut behind me like a guillotine. Outside, rain hammered the city streets, mirroring the storm inside. That night, as I drove aimlessly, her words echoed. Just her backup, no more. The fire she craved? I'd give her an inferno. The days blurred into a haze of calculated fury after that rain-soaked night. I didn't cry. Tears were for the weak, and Elena had already branded me that. Instead, I moved like a ghost through our apartment, packing my things in silence while she flitted about, oblivious or indifferent. She didn't ask where I was going. Why would she? I was the backup, after all. But as I loaded the last box into my car, I caught her watching from the window, a flicker of unease in her eyes. Good. Let it fester. I crashed at my brother Tom's place, a cramped loft in the industrial district where the clang of machinery drowned out my thoughts. Tom, ever the loyal shadow, clapped me on the back and poured whiskey without questions. "She's trash, Alex. Burn the bridge." But even he noticed the change, the way my jaw clenched at every mention of her name, how sleep evaded me, replaced by feverish planning sessions on my laptop in the dead of night. Revenge wasn't a flash. It was a slow poison I brewed meticulously. Elena worked as a marketing exec at a boutique firm, climbing the ladder on charm and connections. I'd supported her rise, introducing her to my network from my days as a software engineer. Now, those threads became my web. I started small, anonymous tips to her colleagues about irregularities in her expense reports. Nothing provable, just enough to seed doubt. Whispers on industry forums, fabricated from half-truths I'd gleaned from her emails. Yes, I kept access. Trust was a joke now. Her LinkedIn lit up with subtle shade. Old contacts pulling back, invitations drying up. But the real work gnawed at me, a relentless itch under my skin. Mornings, I'd wake drenched in sweat, her words replaying like a curse. Backup. It fueled me. Yes, but it hollowed me out too. At Tom's, dinner became a ritual of silence broken only by his probing glances. "You're scaring me, man," he said one night, pushing away his plate. "This isn't you. Remember that trip to the Grand Canyon? You were the guy who laughed off everything." I laughed then, bitter and hollow. That guy died in our bed. Tom didn't push, but I saw the worry etch lines on his face. My sister, Mia, called daily, her voice cracking with concern. "Come home, Alex. Let it go. She's not worth it." But letting go? That was surrender. And surrender was for backups. The internal war raged fiercest in the quiet hours. I'd pace Tom's balcony, city lights mocking me with their indifferent glitter, torn between the clean cut of justice, divorce papers, a fresh start, and the dark allure of destruction. One night, bottle in hand, I stared at the photo on my phone. Elena and me at our wedding, her smile radiant. My thumb hovered over delete, heart pounding. Justice would heal. Destruction would scar us both. But then her voice slithered back, just her backup. My fingers smashed the screen instead, cracking the glass. No healing, only fire. As weeks turned to months, the pursuit reshaped everything. I quit my job, not out of despair, but strategy. Freelancing gave me freedom to dig deeper, hacking into Marco's socials, a skill from my coding days, to expose his side hustles, shady crypto scams targeting desperate investors. I didn't touch Elena yet, let her think I was crumbling. But the cost mounted. Friends drifted. Mia stopped calling after I snapped at her pleas for therapy. "You're becoming a monster," she whispered before hanging up. Tom stuck around, but our bond frayed. He caught me once, mid-rant about Elena's latest promotion. I'd sabotaged it, anonymously alerting her boss to a plagiarized campaign. "This eats you alive, Alex. What's left when it's over?" I didn't answer. Couldn't. The burden was my armor now, heavy but unbreakable. By month's end, Elena's firm had her on probation. Whispers of affairs leaking into HR files I'd seeded. She texted me once. *, we need to talk. This is getting ugly. *, I deleted it, a savage thrill coursing through me. Ugly? I'd make it apocalyptic. Yet in the mirror, I barely recognized the man staring back. Eyes hollow, jaw set in perpetual grind. Revenge drove me. Yes, but it carved out pieces of my soul, leaving a void that echoed with her laughter. Still, I pressed on. Destruction wasn't a choice anymore. It was oxygen. And Marco? He was next. I'd unravel him thread by thread, then drag Elena through the ruins. Backup? I'd make her beg to be forgotten. 6 months in, the web tightened like a noose. I'd transformed. Lean from skipped meals, sharp from endless schemes. Tom had moved out, unable to stomach the stranger I'd become, leaving a note. "Fix this before it fixes you." Mia sent one last email, pleading, but I archived it unread. Family. Collateral. My life was a machine now, oiled by hatred, pistons pumping toward the endgame. Marco was the spark. Through dark web forums and a few greased palms, freelance cash-bought silence, I uncovered his empire. A Ponzi scheme masquerading as NFT flips, fleecing retirees and dreamers alike. He bragged in deleted DMs. Suckers think it's art. I think it's easy money. Elena knew. Her text to him gushed about our future yacht. I compiled it all. Screenshots, transaction logs, victim statements I'd solicited anonymously. Then, with a single upload to a whistleblower site, I lit the fuse. By morning, headlines screamed, "Crypto Kingpin Exposed. $2 million fraud ring crumbles." Chaos erupted. Marco's accounts froze. His flashy Instagram went dark amid furious comments. Elena's name surfaced too, tied as his business partner in forged docs I'd planted. Her firm fired her that afternoon. I watched from a coffee shop across the street, heart thundering as she stormed out, mascara streaked, clutching a box of belongings. She looked small, broken. A pang hit me, not pity, but the raw thrill of symmetry. Backup? Now she was exposed. But the confrontation brewed, inevitable as a storm. I knew she'd come. And she did. 2 nights later, pounding on my new apartment door, a dingy walk-up funded by revenge gigs. Rain slicked her hair, eyes wild with desperation. "Alex, open up. We need to fix this." I let her in, the door creaking like a coffin lid. She paced the sparse room, words tumbling out in a torrent. "It's all falling apart. Marco's gone. Cops, lawsuits, everything. They think I was in on it. My career, my life, ruined." She collapsed onto the couch, sobs racking her. For a heartbeat, the old me flickered, the man who'd once cradled her through nightmares. But her words from that night surged back, stealing me. Just her backup. "Sit," I said, voice ice. I poured her water, watching her tremble. Then, methodically, I laid it out, the timeline, the leaks, the anonymous hands that had toppled her world. Her face drained of color as realization dawned. You did this? All of it. Every word." I replied, leaning forward, eyes locked on hers. "You call me backup. Safe. Boring. So I made you unsafe. I burned your bridges, Elena. Your lover's empire, your precious career, ashes. And this is just the start." She lunged then, nails raking my arm, fury twisting her features. "You bastard. I hate you. You were nothing without me, my ambition, my fire. This revenge? It'll destroy you too." We grappled, a whirlwind of slaps and shoves, until she broke free, backing toward the door. But I blocked it, breath ragged, the room spinning with the weight of it all. In that moment, the turmoil crested, justice screaming victory, destruction whispering its toll. My hands shook. Months of isolation, fractured bonds. The man I'd buried under rage. He clawed up, begging for air. Was this peace? Her regret, raw and real, eyes pleading now. Please, Alex. End it. We can start over. No. The fire I'd nursed demanded consummation. I shoved the door wide, rain lashing in. Start over? You're done, Elena. Beg Marco for your yacht. She stumbled out, a final sob echoing down the hall. I slammed it shut, sliding to the floor, chest heaving. Victory tasted like bile, sweet at first, then scorching. Her regret? Absolute. But mine? The void yawned wider, family lost, soul scorched. Yet as sirens wailed in the distance, cops closing on Marco, I smiled. Back up no more. I'd forged myself in hellfire. The fallout cascaded. Elena's name dragged through tabloids, blacklisted forever. Marco flipped on her in plea deals, sealing her fate. I watched from afar, untouchable, rebuilding on the ruins. New job, new city. But the burden lingered, a shadow in every mirror. Revenge had reshaped me, unbreakable but brittle. It drove me to heights I'd never known, but at what price? The people I'd pushed away, ghosts now. Still, in the quiet, her final plea haunted. It'll destroy you too. Maybe it had. But damn if it didn't feel like triumph. Moral of the story. Revenge carves a throne from the bones of your enemies, but you sit upon it alone, forever haunted by the echoes of what you've shattered.